matter if I'm eating? Is that more realistic?
We're recording,
Totally fine.
so do whatever you want to do.
At that.
Episode 2 of Unscripted. Got a lot to talk about. This weekend was really a very underrated sports weekend. We had 7 Game 7s. I believe I'm right.
Probably like a top 3 sports
It
weekend.
was 7 Game 7s?
So there
Masters week.
there were
Masters
5
weekend is last.
Okay, Cole, unbelievable. There were 5 NHL Game 7s. Cole, you can fact check that.
So we care like a little bit about that.
Pretty sure.
So we want to hear about that. And then we had Game 7 Boston and then Game 7 Phoenix. So there were 7
Oh, man. I can't wait for that Game 7 Phoenix.
Saturday, Sunday, 7 Game 7s, which is crazy. We're going to get to, I want to start, I think we should start basketball. And then I want to hear Cole. Cole's going to break down. He's kind of our NHL expert. He's going to break down
because I'm not much of an expert.
He's going to break down some of what is happening, but specifically we want to talk about Pittsburgh gave up a 3-1 lead in that series, Cole.
Don't worry about it.
So,
I believe that's correct, Dylan.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. Hey, all right. General thoughts though from this weekend basketball, 2 Game 7s, Dallas, Phoenix, Boston, Milwaukee. Let's start there. I think we also want to do some predictions for what we think for the East and Western Finals. But general thoughts from those 2 games. Maybe Rex, start with you. What were some highlights ways?
Okay. I mean, I think the easy thing to do right now is to just rip into the Phoenix Suns, rip into Chris Paul, rip into Devin Booker, which part of me wants to do because I think it's a little bit warranted, especially for CP3. I mean, how long have we been having this conversation with CP3? He's the number 1 seed. He's the number 1 seed is the Clippers, a 2 seed, and it always ends like this. It always seems to end like this. Last year, they at least got to the finals.
And
I think, they started the series up 2-0. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, at this point, if we're talking about him with these other top point guards, I can't put him up there, not with Steph Curry, not with Magic Johnson, there's probably some other point guards as well. But I think what we're seeing, it's LUKA time. I think which it's kind of like we've known that was coming for maybe the past 2 to 3 years, but maybe now it's time. I mean, he could, it's very likely he could end up in the finals, and we'll see how he performs in the finals. Was
it Cam Johnson that he put on his butt at the end of the second half?
Yeah. Was it?
That just crossed him up, maybe a slight push off, I don't know, and then just drained the 3. In Phoenix yeah, I'm with you. LUKA time. I think my biggest takeaway, is it JAYSON Tatum time?
Yeah.
Is it Tatum time? I just think, being down 3-2, playing Game 6 in Milwaukee, and the dude goes for 46. Milwaukee, they just were not, I don't know if they were not, or they just aren't the 3-point shooting team that people thought that they were. Grayson Allen missed his 18 of his last 20 3-point attempts in this series. I think Game 6, they shot like 21 free throws as a team. Giannis shot 17 of them. It's just like, it was literally just Giannis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but that
aren't they missing Chris Middleton though too? So,
yeah, that's
a thing that I haven't heard much. I haven't heard that get talked about much, but that's a big deal for them.
Yeah, it is. It is a big deal. I just think Tatum doing what he did in Game 6 and then in Game 7, beating the defending champions.
Yep.
Man, it was, I felt like that was the highlight for me, in basketball this weekend, was just what he was able to do. We'll get to this in a second. I actually think this is going to be a really good series between Boston and Miami. I think a lot of people are just putting Boston to the finals. I'm the one not so fast. I think
Jimmy Butler.
I think yes, and I think that they're a much better 3-point shooting team than Milwaukee. And so I think with Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, some of these guys that can I think shoot a little bit better than I just think they're a little, Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, or True
Pretty
Holiday.
sure Duncan
Bobby
Robinson's
Portis.
not even playing. I think
What's
I saw
that?
that Duncan Robinson's had like 1 minute of game time since like the first round. I'm pretty sure. Like he just hasn't even played.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. I think that's probably because Oladipo's back in the lineup now, and he's falling out. So, we have that. But I think that Miami poses a much better just 3-point threat. So anyway, we'll get to that. But I do think
Tatum's going to have to deal with Jimmy Butler sticking him for a whole series, and most people don't want to deal with that. So the Heat have been in the finals. This team, this is like the same team that was in the finals 2 years ago. So they're experienced. They've gotten over that hump, even though it was a bubble finals appearance. We're not counting anything that happened in the bubble in reality, but
bubble doesn't count.
They're proving it now. They're backing it up again. So,
Rex, you bring up a good point, and this is all I'm going to say on this. Do you remember 2 years ago that bubble finals? That doesn't count. I think it's important that we stress that does not count.
Doesn't count.
But do you remember who they played in the finals?
I think it was a team out west.
It was a team out west.
It was a team out west, but they played it down in Florida, and they just lived in a hotel the whole time.
Yep. And I don't think that team out west, Miami's back 2 years later.
Miami's back in 2 years.
That team out west is not back at all. So
I forgot about that team. I forgot that team was around still.
Right. That's all we're going to say. That's all I want to say. One team's back, another team is on vacation. No big deal. But full thoughts from the, game 6 or 7 over the weekend?
Phoenix bad. I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch the game, so I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about, but I had to ask Dylan if the score was correct when I looked I thought it was an ESPN error.
Yeah.
It was 57-27.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know what went wrong, but I saw Booker and Paul were like 0 for 11 at halftime. I don't know how your two biggest stars dropped the ball like that in a game 7 at home.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I thought this was going to be their year.
Yeah.
That's what, I was hearing that a lot as well.
I mean, they were my pick to win it all going to the playoffs, but
Rex, you kind of mentioned it, saying that you didn't want to start just ripping Phoenix, and everyone, and that's what we see. I mean, right. That I think is the mainstream, just knee-jerk reaction. And, you lose and it's like, you're terrible, and you have a good game and you're the greatest ever. I think
exactly. We overreact to one little thing that happens.
Right. And we could be overreacting even to success the other way. I'm also Tatum, he played great. Are we ready to put him in as a top 5 player right now in the NBA? I'm not. I could be wrong, but he's playing good, but I think we do it the other way as well. But I did want to quickly get your guys' thoughts. I don't know. Did you guys see what Pat Beverley said today? I
did see that. That's about the only thing that has been entertaining that's come out of mainstream sports media in a long time. So I saw that.
I would say, shameless plug. It was you could tell it was very unscripted.
No, it was. He was off the script. You can tell.
He didn't talk to anyone about that. He just showed up and started just, generally, for those who didn't see, you can look it up. Basically, you guys can help me in what I miss here, but calling CP3 a training cone because he just stands there and you just dribble past him. And then he basically said, like, we're not afraid of, like, no one fears Phoenix. No one in the NBA. He did say, he's like, we fear Luka. And he even was like, Luka gave me buckets. I know he's going to give them buckets, and it was kind of cool that, somebody who's in the locker room right now playing, Pat Bev, getting a little bit of behind the media, crap for what really is happening. Do you think he went too far with his comments? Like, do you feel like if you're sitting on this, is it like, man, it just, I don't know.
I don't think he went too far. I think this is, one of the few things that's excited me about the NBA and the past couple of years, to be honest with you. I wish he would have went further, because he's talking how we want to talk. He's talking unscripted, unfiltered. That's probably how he talks about them when he's just talking to his friends or other guys on the team. Like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about Chris Paul. I think he even found out a way to diss Ben Simmons in there, which was impressive that he was still able to diss Ben Simmons talking about the Suns. But no, I think at the end of the day, it's all talk. It's Pat Bev. All those Booker, CP3, they're all better than Pat Beverley. So it really is all talk at the end of the day, but brought a little excitement to it.
I'll say this. Yeah, I don't know what's the definition of too far, but I agree with Rex in that it is exciting because I think the NBA is missing that, like that trash talk aspect that we used to have in the past. Everything's just getting so soft now, not just the NBA, but all sports and just the culture in general is just getting so soft. So that was a good change of pace. That's what gets people talking, gets people excited. But in terms of what he actually said, I mean, he's a clown. Do you see Matt? You see Matt Barnes' response? It actually reflected my sentiment, like exactly. Like I thought what he said was awesome. Did you see it, Rex?
I didn't see Matt Barnes' response. No.
He basically said like he was way out of pocket because this dude's a 12-time All-Star and he had a down year and his numbers were still better than anything Pat Beverley's ever done. Is basically what he said. And he's like, you can't go on TV and say that about a dude who is way better than you. But I mean, well, I disagree with it. I guess I'm fine with them saying it because I think the NBA needs that like rejuvenation of
I mean
trash talk and energy.
Exactly. They're trying to push JJ Redick now as like the new guy on First Take, this new voice coming into the sports media world. You got to keep me awake while I listen to JJ Redick talk. I mean, it's he's so just politically correct. It's kind of boring. He doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Pat Bev was like, no, I don't fear any of these guys. So, and they were both on the same show. I didn't see what JJ Redick said back to him, but, and a lot of people were even saying too, is they could see Fox Sports trying to pick up Pat Bev after he's done playing. So
someone will. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I mean, I think that somebody, you just watch him and you're like, yeah, I mean, people would love to watch this because they want the real unfiltered behind the scenes NBA access. And that's what he gives. I love, my favorite part is when he said, basically he was like, I'm not going to name names. He's like, actually I will. I was texting Paul George. He thinks the same thing, like PG saying the same stuff about him. And I was just like, it was just like, he just went off.
They tried to compare Devin Booker to Paul George at one point too.
Well, Devin Booker, in my opinion, he's one of those knee-jerk reaction players. And I think a lot of it, and I don't want to get too crazy, but I think a lot of it is, the Devin, he had a weird but just after Kobe died, it was like all of a sudden, like, man, Devin Booker's the next Kobe. And I don't even know where that came from at all. Yeah. But it was just like, I guess he mentored him and he's like, I'm going to, everything. I was just like, this is so weird. And I mean, Devin Booker's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But I was just like, he feels somebody that's like, man, we are going way ahead of where he probably really is. I don't know. It was just strange.
He doesn't play the defense Kobe played. He's not as ferocious as Kobe was. I mean, even that video, I just lost respect when I saw that video where he's like complaining about getting double teamed in a pickup run. Yeah. Kobe would probably laugh and just shoot a fadeaway over both the guys. Booker's over. He's kind of crying about it. So Kobe also made a lot of challenges.
Double team him.
Exactly. He'd be like, you're not going to double me?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He gave challenges to other players too. He gave Giannis a challenge, I think, to get an MVP or something. So I don't know why Booker tried to take that torch on, because Kobe was helping multiple other players at the time too.
Yeah.
And I think if anyone's done it, Giannis is taking that torch on better. I mean, the dude doesn't miss a game. You know exactly what you're getting from him. Players do fear him. There's even a video of his rookie year. He tried to fight somebody because I think they fouled him or they did something to him and he ran him over. So Giannis has more of that mentality than Booker, for sure.
Yeah, I think the thing I love about Giannis too, real quick, I mean, I think, again, in Booker's defense, I'm not like, it was stuff he was saying, but it's also just, I think that it is that knee-jerk media like this, like they kind of force the next star, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's just like you were saying, I mean, he had the finals appearance last year. He's a great player. Like I'm with you. I can get that. But I'm like, let's just calm down for a second. I mean, you're talking about Kobe who three-peated, Shaq leaves, and he wins 2 more, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we got to really calm down with the whole, you know, he's the next fill in the blank.
Exactly. We start trying to write these players' legacies before they've even done anything to earn a legacy. Whereas in the past, it was like the dude plays for 10 years. Larry Bird played for 10 years. And then you sit back and reflect and say, wow, Bird at the time was the best player ever. Magic Johnson even said that. Now we're trying to write their legacy 4 years into their career.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it works positively and negatively for some guys. I mean, it's working against Zion right now, working for Booker. So that's just what I've noticed.
If you guys had to, just real quick, and again, unscripted, you know, so maybe this is people listening, you're about to flip out, and that's okay, because, hey, I'm just dropping a bomb on them. But Cole and Rex, if you had to give me right now a top 5 in the NBA.
Dude, that's crazy, because I was just about to interrupt and say we should do a top 5 players.
Yeah, I also want to hear what single player you guys, what is the best single player left in the playoffs after we do our top 5?
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Without Giannis there, it's going to be a much harder thing to do.
It is. Top 5. What do you guys, I mean, we can do it collectively. What if we came up with an unscripted top 5? I don't know. Maybe we can have a little debate and we can try to settle here on unscripted's top 5.
I think if we go no order, we can do it.
No order. I think we all agree on Giannis.
Yes.
Yes. I would say put him at 1, even though we're doing no order, but I can comfortably put Giannis at 1.
Do we all agree on Steph?
Yes.
Top 5? Yes.
Do we all agree on Luka? Because I had Luka in my top 5 a year ago when I talked to you about this over LeBron, and you laughed at me, but I think it aged well.
Okay.
LeBron's not in mine. I'm just going to tell you that.
I don't want to get caught as a prisoner in the moment now.
LeBron's not right now.
You told me, dude, you lost your mind when I tried to tell you he was not a top 5 player a year ago.
Listen, stop. That's the only LeBron talk we're talking. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to give him the clicks.
Exactly. You don't need these clicks.
Listen. Okay.
It's going to get us the clicks.
Here's the thing. Maybe it's like, where does Embiid?
I
can't put him in the top 5. I think he's too fragile.
I was just thinking, I don't know my top. I think if we do those
KD.
3, KD's probably, but he really disappointed me. KD really disappointed me.
Anthony Davis?
No, he's done.
No.
Street close Davis is probably not even top 10 anymore.
No, Anthony Davis is another one.
You got to put, like, Kawhi's out. If you dude can't play in 2 years, you're not in my top 5.
No, you got to play. I mean, we have right now Giannis, KD, and Steph. We all agree on those 3.
I'm putting Luka in. I think I'm putting Luka
still unsure about Luka.
I'm not sure about Luka either. I know, and I just said JAYSON TATUM. I'm not sure about that.
He's definitely close. He's definitely in that 5 to 10
Jokic
range.
has probably got to be in there, right?
That's what I just said. I said, I think Jokic has to be in it.
I agree. I'd take Jokic.
It's really boring to watch, but
yes, that's the thing. He's just no flash at all. Just kind of like out of, just
yeah.
I'd take Jokic over Embiid.
Who'd you take?
I'd take Jokic over Embiid.
Yeah. I mean, 2 MVPs to no MVPs. I think Jokic has got him.
I mean, that's my 5 right there. But I mean,
so yeah, I guess for Dylan and I, we're still working through that last one. I think we've agreed on 4.
Who's close?
I can't put Luka in yet. I'm sorry, I can't.
I don't think I'm ready to. I want to, but I don't think I'm ready to. I don't want to.
Who would you have above him?
Luka just hasn't see. Here's the thing. This is the debate.
But look through who's left.
Cole.
Jimmy Butler is still a guy.
Dude, I'm not. I don't think Butler's close.
Cole is a big stats guy, which is fine. Like he's a big. I'm saying in my top 5, like you have to. Like Luka he hasn't been to the finals. He hasn't, like, I'm like, to be top 5, I'm like, Steph, championship, Giannis, championship.
If you're saying right now, Luka's only like 23, 22?
He just hasn't proven it yet. You
got to prove it. This is like
he kind of is right now. He just beat the Suns.
If he beats
one series isn't proving it.
Basically by himself. I mean,
if Luka beats Golden State, I'll put him in my top 5. I
mean, give me a name. Give me a name of who's above, because we're not looking at many. There's not many people left. I mean, there's like Tatum, Embiid.
It's crazy.
Kyrie,
it's crazy that LeBron's not even getting a look in this.
Kyrie, LeBron, like who would you put above Luka? I'm not putting any of those guys above Luka. Like Ja's not there yet.
Okay,
Booker's not there yet. CP3, I'm not putting him above Luka.
I might.
I think I would put Kyrie ahead of Luka.
Kyrie's definitely good. He definitely changed my mind a little bit this year.
When he plays, dude.
This year was a rough year for him.
I'm not.
But
I
think Kyrie, if we were talking after, Kyrie is so good. He's
yeah, dude, he sits out all year and then he just starts playing in the playoffs or at the end of the year and just will score 35 points like it's no problem.
I just feel like
that's just something Kyrie does. Now, as far as the young guys, I think Luka is the easy number one for the young guys for me. But when you take all of these guys' careers into account.
Who?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Ja?
I was just saying, is Luka head and shoulders better than Ja?
Yes.
I'm not worried about Ja Morant, dude, but he's a good player, but I don't know. Long term, I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, I just can't. Okay. Steph, let's go over who we have. 4 for sure, right? Jokic, Steph, Giannis, and KD. Those are the 4. Those are the 4. I love that 4.
I look at 5 a year ago. I'm just gonna say that right now, and I think he's definitely in my top 5 now. I mean,
I would probably put Embiid over Luka at this point.
I would too. I would too.
Luka could change that in the next 2 months, and then it's Luka's easily.
Going off your guys' logic, what has Embiid done?
Dude.
He's gotten hurt for like 3 full years, and he hasn't won anything either. I mean, just because he's a couple years older than Luka, I don't know why he deserves all this credit.
I mean, he's
been MVP runner-up 2 years, but
he's done. He's come closer to winning MVP than Luka, and he's had more stats to back it up. I mean, you look at Luka's regular season stats this year. I think they were good, but
going off what you guys were talking about earlier, who do you think other teams fear more? Do you think they fear Embiid or Luka? I think they didn't. I think they'd fear Luka more.
I know.
No, I think a healthy Embiid they're fearing more.
Yeah, it's a cop-out answer, but it depends on the team. Like if we're, I really do think Miami would fear Embiid more than they would fear Luka. I do. I think that it's a better matchup if it's a Luka. It's such a weird hypothetical, but I just think.
And I mean, say we bring Kawhi Leonard back. He's not afraid of Luka. Healthy Kawhi is not going to be afraid of Luka either. He's going to guard him, probably shut him down. So, yeah, I don't think I could put Luka there yet.
Man, I mean, I think I would have Tatum ahead of Luka as well.
Oh,
I think right now.
What do you not like about Luka? His defense?
No. I love Luka. It's not. See, this is what's tough about this because it's like, what do I hate about Luka? It's like, man, I think Luka's good. I do think right now he's just on fire, and kind of with what Rex was saying earlier. Like maybe one of you guys can pull up. Like, can we do a side by side?
So is Luka. I mean.
Well, no. I'm saying what were his regular season stats?
We need body of work here. We need his whole body of work, not just the past series.
Oh shoot, let me pull this.
Like I'm sure it's great, but I'm like, what are we looking at here with Luka? What are we?
So this year he averaged 28 points a game, 9 rebounds and 8 assists, almost 9 assists. So that's a pretty good year.
I mean, some would say.
But I mean, if we're going by that, then LeBron had a better year too because he probably had better stats.
Can you pull up Tatum, Rex?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
So 28, 9 and 9 basically was
pretty much. So Tatum had 27, 8 and 4.
Okay.
I'm with Cole. I'm going Luka over Tatum, especially long term.
Tatum playoffs. In the playoffs this year, Luka's averaging.
All right. Go ahead.
Luka's averaging 31.5 points in the playoffs with 10 rebounds and 6.6 assists.
Who are Tatum's the two teams they played? Denver and Phoenix? Denver and Phoenix, right?
Tatum's averaging 28, 5, and 6.
I did see something crazy in the 7-game series against Phoenix. Luka had averaged more points than Booker, more assists than Chris Paul, and more rebounds than DeAndre Ayton. Like their best. Yeah. Chris Paul leads that team in assists. Luka had more. Devin Booker led in points. Luka had more. DeAndre Ayton led in rebounds. Luka had more. That's actually crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if we're saying right now, the question of who's the best player still in the playoffs, I probably would take Luka.
Oh, I'm taking Steph.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about Steph Curry.
Yeah, I gotta take Steph. Best player still in the playoffs. I gotta take Steph.
Steph hasn't played that well though, right? Like not like he's like compared to his standards, he hasn't been. I mean, he's played. It's probably still my answer, but
I mean, do you think if you took Steph off and put Luka on Golden State, they're better?
Probably just as good.
Or vice versa. If you took Luka off Dallas and put Steph on, are they better?
I don't know if Steph does everything you just said Luka did for Dallas against Phoenix. I don't know if Steph leads in rebounds and everything like that.
But see, there's different.
I love Steph. Steph's like, I mean, his legacy is way higher than Luka. I mean, but just right here, right now, Luka's doing everything. But we need to finish our top 5 here.
I feel like we've seen enough from Luka to where like we can all feel that like his career arc is inevitable. Like,
see, but this is what I was saying earlier.
Is it?
I'm not handing out a legacy 4 years into his career. He's got to earn his legacy. I can't do it yet.
I'm just saying it's not a guarantee. Luka may never win a title. And to me, that matters a lot. Like, I just think if he has a chance. I mean, Rex, you said 2 months. I'm saying 2 weeks.
I think you will.
If he can get past Golden State, I'm all in. But
I think he'll win a title.
I don't. All right.
He's like 22, dude, and he's already worked. I mean,
it's hard.
He's gonna play.
It's just not guaranteed. That's the thing. It's just not. Everyone would have thought Paul George would have.
He's better than Paul George.
Won a title when he was in Indiana.
He's gonna go down as being better than Paul George, though.
How are you saying this so early, though?
I guess I can't prove anything. I'm just saying.
I'm going Embiid for my 5th.
I probably would have to also go Embiid right now, but we'll very easily put Luka in there in the future.
Oh, Cole, say Embiid so we can have an unscripted top 5.
No, we're not gonna come to a consensus here. We'll just end it here. I don't agree with you guys, but I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Man, all right. Last thing.
We did good. We did good on 4 of them.
The consensus top 4.
Basketball related NBA. Stay here real quick. What are the predictions? Eastern and Western Conference Finals. Who's going to the finals? Who has, what are some predictions for these 2 series? So
you want to start it off, Cole?
I can start it off.
Okay.
I think for me, man, this is, oh gosh. Okay. I think Golden State in 5. I think Golden State in 5. And then I think, man, I know this is crazy. This is going to come back and bite me. I'm taking Miami in 7. I think Miami's beating Boston. I'm going against the grain. I love this Miami team. I think that they are way better than what people are giving them credit. And so I've got Miami in 7, Golden State in 5.
I'm right there with you and with Miami, and I might even go Miami in 6. Because I just don't think the Celtics would have got past the Bucks if they had Chris Middleton anyways. I think Miami's at full strength right now. So I'm comfortable saying Miami in 6, possibly 7, but I'm going to say 6. I'm also going with the Warriors. I just think the rest of the Mavericks team is not that good. So you have Steph, you have Clay. Draymond is back to having a huge impact like he does. Yeah. Then you have Jordan Poole. You look at the stat line every night. Jordan Poole scored 25 points. He scored 30 points. He scored 27 points. So they really have 3 weapons now. And no one would have thought Jordan Poole was going to be playing like this. So, I'll take the Warriors in 6 games as well.
So you got Miami 6, Golden State 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Cole?
I'll go Boston in 7 and Golden State in 6.
Okay. We'll see. It's
now what happens if Steph wins another ring on his own? What does that mean for Steph and what does that mean for KD? Because KD is sitting here not doing anything with Brooklyn. Steph is coming back with Klay Thompson, who's not who he used to be, and he's got his team possibly in the finals again.
Yeah, KD, man, these divas in the NBA, they're so annoying. I don't know, man. LeBron, KD, even Kawhi just not playing. I knew he's not a diva, but just
I mean, Steph's doing this at 6'3", dude.
Yeah.
Not many guys have done it at 6'3".
Yeah. I mean,
is he 6'3"? I thought he was like 6'5".
Steph? No, he's 6'3". He's probably 6'2", but they put him at 6'3", one of those deals. But yeah, he's 6'3" at the most.
I gotta check this. I thought he was
Cole,
taller
he's
than
not
that.
6'5", dude.
Maybe 6'4".
I mean, it's tough, Rex, because I
Oh crap, dude! Google has him as 6'2".
Yeah.
I bet he's 6'1" then.
Oh my! I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, 6'5" was way off. Wow.
I don't really care about what it does to KD's legacy. I mean,
Mhm.
KD, he has a title. He's a top 5 player. I don't love that he's in Brooklyn. I don't love that at all. But I also don't love that Grant Williams shut him down in 1-1. I don't love that for his legacy. But I think focusing more on Steph. I mean, man, it would be crazy. I mean, and I think they're the odds-on favorite from here out, right? No,
Just based on experience, yeah, probably.
They are.
I mean, I'm sure Golden
But-
State is. I think it just changes him to not just one of the best shooters, one of the best winners, one of the best guards, one of the best players in NBA history. I mean, I really do think it has that impact.
Yeah.
It's just,
I can easily say if he wins the finals this year, I don't want to hear anything about LeBron James anymore because I'm saying Steph Curry's better than LeBron James all time if he wins another one. I mean, they would both be tied at 4.
oh my
Steph hasn't ruined 3 franchises to get 4 titles. LeBron has ruined. How many franchises has he ruined to get his 4 titles? He ruined Cleveland.
I don't
he
want to
ruined
go down
Miami.
this road. I don't want to.
I don't want to go down. I'm sorry, but that's what that's what I think's at stake for Steph. I think that could be. This could just be something that puts him in a whole different conversation of top 10 all time, top 5 all time.
Yeah, I do.
I even say he's better than Larry Bird if he does this. Love Larry Bird, but it's just we're gonna start saying like, is Steph better than Kobe? Who is Steph better than? Because maybe we haven't been giving him the credit he needs.
Yeah, it's just tricky because I don't want to. It's tough.
Because look at his body of work. His body of work backs it up. 2 MVPs, 4 titles, 73-9 season, dominant, the best 3-point shooter easily. So he's the best at something.
Yeah. I don't know. Cole, fill us in on some hockey.
What do you want to know? I mean, I haven't watched a ton of hockey other than the Penguin series, but
So let's start there, and maybe we can just finish there. Take us in. What happened, Cole? So to those who don't know, Cole and Rex, both Pittsburgh fans. Cole, it translates to, the Pirates, the Penguins. You thought, and I, not that it's a crazy thought, but this, help us understand. This was a great Penguins team, a good Penguins team.
I wouldn't say great. This was very good.
Okay.
Hockey is a sport where, it's not like, trying to think of a comparison, like the NBA most years, where like the favorites almost always go all the way. Like hockey's a sport where it's all about momentum and, catching fire at the right time. So, I mean, anybody can go all the way. I mean, if you remember a few years ago, St. Louis won it all. And at the midway point in the season, they were last in the entire league in the standings.
Yeah.
And they just got hot and went on to win it all. So, I mean,
when you say that, do we have to just call in question the credibility of hockey as a sport in general?
No, that's what makes hockey so great. No.
We'll get there in a second, Rex.
They would have played Carolina in the next round. Carolina would have been favored. I mean, New York was favored to win this series going in. So, I mean, the odds weren't great. that the Penguins were going to win out, but I'm saying they could, like they were good enough to do it. I mean, they have like I'll say top 2 player in the world still. They had decent goaltending, decent depth when everyone was healthy. It just sucked. I mean, there's a lot to go over, but
I heard they potentially got robbed at the end of the game.
Oh, they got robbed a lot. They lost. They lost their starting goaltender, broken bone in his foot a month ago, Jari. So you're going right before the playoffs. You're going into the playoffs with your backup, who's like, I mean, he's NHL backup caliber to Smith, and then Louis Domingue, who is a journeyman AHL caliber goalie. And game 1, DeSmith makes 52 saves, whatever, gets you to overtime, goes out in overtime. You have Louis Domingue come in. Now your backup is some dude who probably doesn't even have any business being in the AHL. He's that bad. And you're riding with Louis Domingue for the entire series because DeSmith, I don't need core surgery or whatever. So, I mean, it's just tough to win a series in hockey against a good team when you don't have NHL caliber goaltending. And then they elbowed Crosby in the head. That same dude was just headhunting the whole series. NHL player safety did nothing about it. I mean, I'm thinking if we have Crosby, it's over in 5 or 6. If we have Jari, it's over in 5 or 6.
So
Domingue did what he was supposed to do. He held the fort down. He did exactly what you expect from a third goalie. He kept you in games for the most part. But, I mean, one more thing before you talk. There's this website. It's called Money Puck.
Okay.
It tracks the total goals for whatever, like per, I don't know, ice time or whatever. So like per possessions or something. I don't know exactly how it's done, but it gives you a decimal point number for goals scored and also gives you the expected goals scored. There's of the 16 teams in the playoffs, the Penguins were first in both categories. So they were the top scoring team in the NHL in the playoffs. New York was 16th going into game 7. They were lowest in goals scored and expected goals scored. So essentially what that means is the Penguins goaltending was so bad and that Shesterkin, while he struggled, was still above average. And I mean, it came down to goaltending again. They did blow 3 leads or whatever. They blew a 3-1 lead and they were up 2-0 in game 4, 2-0 in game 5, 3-2 in game 7, something like that.
Would you categorize this as a choke job?
I wouldn't. I think they actually did very well considering the circumstances. If you would have told someone that the Penguins are in game 7 with the Rangers, who are seated higher than them, and with the best goalie in the league, and you're playing with the 3rd string AHL goalie, and you're in game 7 with that team, I think you'd be thrilled.
They kind of
no Crosby for 2 games. I mean, I know it looks like a choke job from the outside, but if you watch the games, like they played pretty well. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just hockey's a game of momentum, and I think it swings back and forth. It's a game of runs, and New York just got hot a couple of times during the game, and it's unfortunate, but I wouldn't say the Penguins played bad for sustained periods of time. It sucks because we were definitely the better team, but
I have a question here. This might be a better question for the more broad hockey community. As well, I also have a couple friends plugged into the hockey community. They start using words that they're talking about cookies and apples and fundies and whatnot. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. But my question is, and maybe they could answer it if they listen to this too. My question is, it seems like a goalie is comparable to a pitcher in baseball, where if you go to the playoffs and you lose your top pitchers, you're kind of screwed. So it seems like a goalie is of that importance, where if you don't have your goalie there,
the goalie is extreme. The goalie is, gosh, what is that? Goalie is extremely important. I mean, there's only one of them on the ice. You got many pitchers, but if you don't have
the Mets, they lose DeGrom. So now DeGrom is worth how many wins to them? They lose him when the playoffs start. They're kind of screwed. That's kind of what it seems like it is with the hockey, where we lost Jari. I say we because I'm a Penguins fan, even though I know about 3 players. I'm still mad about Marc-Andre Fleury. I think we should have kept him, but that's beyond me.
That was about 4 years ago.
That's why I'm still
Rex is Pittsburgh.
bitter. I'm bitter over that still.
Yeah, let me start with this. I'm not a hockey guy. However,
You are now, because it's great, isn't it?
I went to my first Blue Jackets game this year. It was their last home game against Tampa Bay, who is still in the playoffs. I believe they just beat Toronto. And Columbus won. So de facto, I think we're one of the best teams in the NHL. We just ran out of time and couldn't get in the playoffs. So that's upsetting. But I will also say, I've been watching kind of, because Cole, huge Penguins fan. And so we've been texting about it. And I was so much more locked in to Game 7, New York, Pittsburgh, than I think any NBA game. I mean,
there's nothing like the NHL playoffs. It's so much better than the NBA playoffs.
I mean, I would be kicking myself, hearing myself say this maybe a year ago, but it's electric. Like it honestly,
it really is. There's nothing like the atmosphere in the building in hockey.
Like Madison
it's unlike
Square
any other
Garden
sport. Yeah.
was going crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, even when it was in Pittsburgh, they were just.
I mean, but they know the Knicks are never going to win in Game 7 in Madison Square Garden. So at least the Rangers could do that for you.
And I actually told someone, I'm like, it was kind of good to see a New York team win a big game in the Garden because that does not happen often. But I think it was a lot of fun. And I think like the other thing is both Game 7s in the NBA, and I understand in hockey you can have games that are kind of like pretty lopsided, but it was just, I mean, Cole, like all the Game 7s, there were 5 of them, and they were all good.
That was crazy.
I mean, it was just.
I'm not going to say that the playoffs are always this good, but
yeah,
it's just, I think we can talk about this for a second. It's just like the popularity of the NHL. I mean,
so
why
isn't it popular?
I don't know, really. I mean,
I've had this explained to me by the same hockey aficionados that I've talked about before. And they said that it's a really great game. And for a long time, pretty much all of the NHL's existence has just been marketed really poorly. And part of that is because in the NHL, you do have your stars, McDavid and Crosby, but they're not like the stars in the other leagues. They're not – hockey players seem like they kind of just do their own thing. They're not into all the glitz and glamour. They're not into the drama. They're not into saying stuff in interviews. You listen to a hockey player's interview, they're very respectful, cordial, and then they just move on. So that's how I've explained it, had it explained to me, is it's just not that much of a star-driven league like the NFL and the NBA and even the MLB with guys like Tatis and Guerrero. You have your stars.
I'm hoping as much as I hate ESPN, I'm hoping that this agreement with the NHL, and I think it will help it.
Yes.
In terms of, growing its popularity. But like what you're talking about, the stars and just how hockey players conduct themselves, that's why I love it so much. Like, I can't honestly explain to you how grateful I am for like Crosby and just the way that he carries himself on and off the ice. And a lot of people hate him, whatever, non-Penguins fans, mostly just because he's good. But you'll never hear anything about Crosby saying anything wrong, doing anything wrong. I don't think so.
I think he kicks.
And that's just, there's really not many people in the NHL like that. It's such a breath of fresh air to go from like the NBA and the NFL to go over to hockey. I mean, hockey's just, there's a lot of the NHL that's poorly managed, but man, it just, the way the players conduct themselves is just awesome.
I see, it's tough. It's an interesting debate because I think, kind of with what Rex was saying, it almost is like the advantage is that it's poorly marketed. Like the advantage is that you're not like the point I'm trying to make is we always dunk on the NFL stars and the NBA stars, and we say all this and the stances, whatever. But it's also like, I think a lot of it is the media, because a lot of it's just like, hey, we want the tagline, we want the controversy, we want the drama. It's just like the more like I'm like,
I guess to get it more popular, there's gonna have to be things that come with it we just don't like. Like there's gonna be trade-offs.
Like, the media hasn't tainted it yet. That's the good part about it.
There's going to be
Exactly.
media that's going to have to
Correct.
create
Yes.
clickbait and create controversy for it to be big. Yeah, I guess I understand what you're saying.
I think the media could try to, and then the hockey guys are like, oh yeah, I don't care about that, and just move on with their day. I just don't know if the players will ever feed into that BS.
Well, I think
Yeah.
too, I think, and maybe I'm wrong in this. I mean, of the professional sports, and I could be way off. I'm thinking the big professional sports. How? I don't know. Let me say that. I would assume it seems like the NHL has the highest percentage of non-Americans who are professionals. Am I way off in that?
No, that's true. It's Russians, obviously Canadians, also I think Sweden and some of those Northern European countries as well up in there. And I just had a big hockey conversation with a guy who played hockey in college this weekend. So it's fresh on my mind. But he was telling me there's a good Russian league, I think the KHL, and he even said there's a league out there that might be better than the AHL over in Europe. And also you have those countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union that are just small countries now that they produce a lot of, like Czech Republic and Slovakia and all that stuff, and Czechoslovakia. I don't know if it's two countries or one, whatever it is. Players come from there.
Yeah, so I guess that's kind of my point is, they're not all this, I don't know, all the stuff that, athletes speak on, they're just not as connected to it.
They're just strong like a bull. They say we strong like a bull. And then they just play hockey, and that's what they do.
Yeah, or not Americans and don't have opinions on all this stuff that everybody wants athletes to have opinions on, and I think that in a way. So anyway, I think I'll say this. It was awesome. Game 7, New York, Pittsburgh was awesome. So it was a lot of fun. I'm sorry, Cole. Sorry that Pittsburgh lost. Sorry, Rex, Pittsburgh lost. But hey, you've got football season. Real quick. I don't want to dive. We're going to dive next week a little bit more into the NFL, but I think it would be wrong if we didn't hit on a little bit of NFL schedule release stuff.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have come through, Pittsburgh schedule, maybe a couple others. Thoughts or anything that you look at where you're like, man, this team has a really rough schedule, or hey, Pittsburgh, I see 11-6, 10-7 easy now that we see our schedule. Any thoughts from the schedule release that you guys have?
Cole, you want to start out?
I mean, I haven't looked through every team's schedule. I mean, I've looked through Pittsburgh's, but I don't want to talk about specifically Pittsburgh's schedule without getting too much into stuff that's going to lead us down a long road. But I did see one stat. I don't know if you saw the total miles traveled for each team and like different time zones that they'll be in. Do you see that at all?
I didn't know.
The leading team, I forget who it was, but they changed time zones, I believe 29 times. And they travel like 30,000 miles. The Steelers travel like 5,000 miles and they don't change time zones at all. It's the only team that every single game is in the Eastern time zone. That's like unheard of. So the schedule is very fortunate for them this year, but.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to make a comment about the easiest schedules in the league. And you got the Dallas Clown Show Cowboys. Of course, they got the easiest schedule in the league. I'm sure they're going to be on primetime national games every week. But it is going to be fun to watch them probably fumble the bag again with the easiest schedule in the league. Part of that, though, is because that whole division is not good. So when you're playing 2 games against all these other teams that aren't good, you end up with the easier schedule. I think some other teams in that division are also on the easiest schedule list.
I do not think Dallas is that good this year. I mean,
well, no, when are they? But every year before the season, we're going to be hearing, oh, Dallas, they could win the Super Bowl this year. Dallas, we hear about Dallas every year. So
there's teams that should be in. There's just teams and players that should be in jail, like media jail, where you can't talk about them until, like, I'd put LeBron in prison. I would put the Dallas Cowboys in prison.
I'd put LeBron in real prison.
Well, let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. I was just saying, like, before, like, let's stop, move the conversation away from some of the, like, you can't, like, there's so many.
You know, I like that idea, Dylan. We should come up with a list of who should go into sports media prison and spend some time on that in an episode. Who deserves to be, what team or player or topic deserves to be in sports media prison?
Yeah, I just think, like, there's always these things, like Cleveland Browns should be in prison. Like, the Cleveland Browns organization should be in prison. Like, until they do something of relevance, you can't talk about them. I don't want to hear them, you know?
Yes.
So there's that, you know, that's beside the point. Here's a couple games I want to get your guys' thought on. We'll end on this. Just some games I'm looking through that I thought caught my eye. The first is, we have to watch this one together. We have to put this on YouTube. We have to, you know, go
live stream. I'm hearing some people actually ask for live streams during games.
Well, here's one that we're doing. Week 3, Packers at Buccaneers. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady.
Oh my goodness.
We're going live. Unscripted live, because I'm just saying right now.
I say that week we release our epic Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers debate. It might be a 2 to 3 hour special. We're digging into stats. We're going at throats. We're not holding back. And I think we do it one time for all time, and we do it right, because we've been doing it for years, having that debate. We need to do it one time and do it right. And we do it that week.
The fact that you even said that is frustrating me, because there is no debate. There's a circumstantial. No, Cole, there isn't. There's a circumstantial now. Man. Who would you rather have? That's the debate. Like, if we're talking about better quarterback, like the whole body of work, there's no debate.
Oh, body of work. That's why Brady is the most accomplised. I'm saying
he's accomplished more in their prime.
I'd rather have at their peak. I would rather have Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. So you'd rather not win a Super Bowl.
Sneak peek. Hey, we're done. Sneak peek. Sneak peek
that
after.
Is insane. That's
sneak peek going in. Hey.
Okay.
It's not insane.
Okay.
I think general public agrees with me. Put out a poll. I bet I get more than 50%, maybe.
You're in their prime. You are saying that you would rather have Aaron Rodgers than Tom Brady.
I'm not talking about it right now.
But I'm just to understand what you
I just said it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the first game that's interesting. And that statement is why we're going to be live streaming that. Other ones that kind of catch my eye, I think, week 8 Packers Bills could be a good one. Just going through, I mean, we have a Super Bowl rematch. We have Chiefs Buccaneers. For me personally, the 49ers have to play Denver, which is, we can't get away from Russell Wilson. So now that he's out of Seattle, will he still own San Francisco? Because he owns San Francisco when he's in Seattle. Niners, real quick, they have a brutal schedule. I mean, it's a brutal schedule.
Yeah, and I've been thinking
I think honest.
We're way too high on the Niners, man. I wouldn't be shocked if they missed the playoffs. And you were saying they were shooting for the Super Bowl, man.
I don't think they're getting in the playoffs, dude.
I'm with you, Rex. I don't know, man. I just don't know how you could. All you guys talk about, track record, all this. I don't know. Prove it. We don't know anything about Trey Lance, and Dylan is writing him in for the Super Bowl. I mean, I can't do that. I don't.
Okay, well, let's calm down for a second, because 2 of the last 3 years we've been in the NFC Championship game. So
you've had a consistent player that at the quarterback position, though.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know why you're coming at me with track record and prove it. Like, the 49ers have proven.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not. I'm saying from just a quarterback's perspective.
Okay, because I don't want to get too angry and start pulling up like playoff wins in the last 10 years versus San Francisco. And
no, we're not.
Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to go there. But I mean, we can. I don't want to go there. But I just don't know why you're coming at my neck with, you got to prove it, San Francisco.
Because you are hypocritical coming from you guys. Your guys' logic with stuff is they got to be a winner. They got to prove it to me before I can.
Okay, no, Cole, I'm not saying Trey Lance is the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying any of that.
You're saying he's good enough to take you to the Super Bowl.
I'm saying that the 49ers in place have a team that if Trey Lance comes and he's just Jimmy G, they can get to the Super Bowl.
See, I don't know if their roster is that great.
Okay. We'll talk about this later. I mean, this is crazy. They have, okay.
I mean, maybe it is.
They have one of the best linebacking and front 4 cores in the NFL. And we just have seen, if Debo comes back and Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, who's the 2nd, 3rd best tight end in the NFL, like, they have.
I'm not
They have a
I'm not
player.
worried about those guys.
They have a player. You could make a strong argument, and I know you guys are going to, well, okay. If we were to do top 3, I think that Nick Bosa in his position, top 3, Fred Warner, his position, top 3, Deebo Samuel, his position, top 3. Like, it's not crazy.
Debo
So,
top 3?
I think you could say that.
the guy had, I'm saying going into next year, I'm not saying, I mean, I'm saying you can make an argument. Like, he's great. He's a great
I don't know
receiver.
if you can. He's probably not a top 10 receiver for me.
Okay, well, he had
10?
1,400 yards receiving and 600 rushing and like 11 touchdowns. So I don't know what you
I know,
want
but
out of
I
your
think a
top
lot of
10
that's
receivers. I mean, that's one of the.
a lot of that's because of Shanahan's system, and now he's saying, "I don't want this. I just want to play receiver."
How is
Watch
Shanahan's?
him go
How is that
suck.
his fault? Like,
So
yeah,
do we
sure.
count that
It's
against
not his
every player
fault.
who?
It's not his
all right,
fault.
Aaron Rodgers. It's only because LaFleur's system. I mean,
It's
are we
not
going to
his
count that
fault.
against
I just
everybody?
don't think you're taking Debo over Jamar Chase, over Justin Jefferson.
Yes, over Jamar Chase. Yes.
I actually don't know if I would take him over. I mean, I would.
Dude.
I'm saying.
Dude,
I'm not worried about
taking
Jamar freaking
10
Chase,
times
dude.
out of 10. I'm taking Jamar 10 times out of 10.
Okay, we can talk about this later. It all starts with, I do think the 49ers have a hard schedule. Now, Cole, back to your point. I never said, yes, well, I'm not going to bring Rex into this. Yes, I think track record and you having to win games you have to do to prove your validity. I'm not saying Trey Lance is a great quarterback. I'm saying that with the roster they have in the Shanahan system that you just admitted is great, he is set up well that he doesn't have to do much for them to make a run.
I guess, but you
I mean,
gotta do a little more than a little bit to win a Super Bowl. I'll just say this: when the odds came out and the Niners were at like 6 to win it all, you said that was a steal.
yeah, I do.
said
I think
jump
that's a
on
steal. I do. And I absolutely
know
think
about
that's
that.
a steal. So I am a little bit more I'm still all in on Trey Lance. It's wavering a bit. I'm not going to lie. I mean, some of the things coming out of the camp I don't love, but that's why we got Brock Purdy.
Rex, are you taking Trey Lance or Kenny Pickett?
Oh my gosh.
I'm taking Kenny Pickett, dude.
Dude,
It depends. If we're talking
honestly,
about running back, I would rather have Trey Lance to play running back, but I'd rather have Kenny Pickett to play quarterback.
I don't know where you're getting this running back idea from. It is horrible, but Trey Lance is like a stick, dude. He's not going to be a running back.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Cole, have you ever seen the man?
Yeah, isn't he
He's
pretty
like
skinny?
6'5",
No, he's pretty big. He's pretty big.
He's
What
like
are you talking about?
I don't know. What running back do you know that's 6'5"?
Trey Lance could give hit sticks, dude. He could be a Derrick Henry type of player.
Oh, dude.
He's 6'5", 225. What are you talking about? He's actually like 6'3", but that's beside the point. Like,
I'm worried about his ability to fit the ball into these windows he's going to need to fit it into.
well,
I mean, the last time he played a meaningful game was like North Dakota State or something, right?
let him do a
That's
title.
the same reason I'm not sure about Malik Willis is because who are you playing, dude?
Yeah, that's a fair argument. Look, that's fair. I'm saying, sure.
That is a good argument because like 2 days after Lance got Dylan's ringing endorsement, he tried to say that Malik Willis is terrible because he went, no good quarterback has ever come from a small school. And I said, what about Trey Lance? He said he's different.
I would say that North Dakota State is a powerhouse in FCS. So
Yeah. So if we're talking about the FCS Super Bowl, I want Trey Lance all day.
exactly, he's won all the big games. Yeah, we can. We'll have to dive a little bit deeper into the NFL next week, but there are some games that, the Tampa Bay. Gosh, Cole, I can't tell you right now if first of all, I do think if Tampa Bay wins that game, you're never allowed to say that Aaron Rodgers at any point is better than Tom Brady. I think
this is what's wrong with your guys' argument.
No,
you boil things down to one game when they're in their 40s.
The whole body of work in that game is just called the nail in the coffin.
There's 22 people on the field at once, and you guys act like they're playing one-on-one basketball
for his whole career.
Oh my gosh, this is exactly why you guys.
That's what's up for grabs. That's what's for grabs. I'm just letting you know that's what's for grabs.
Oh, it's not what's for grabs.
That's for
what
grabs.
happens if Rodgers wins? What happens if Rodgers wins? Because I think the Packers are better.
If Rodgers wins,
then we don't care that much because he hasn't done anything else.
if Rodgers wins, I'll say, man, I think Rodgers is better than Tom Brady on that day. On that day, I think Aaron
Exactly
Rodgers.
what I'll say. If he outplays him, maybe Rodgers will probably outplay him and lose
So how would he outplay him?
We'll see.
because there's 22 people on the field.
Well, the way I hear how good I hear Aaron Rodgers is, it doesn't matter that there's 22 people on the field because Aaron Rodgers is so good. He can block and run and pass and
once we get a following, the fans will start to expose you once we get a following because they realize that I have
Cole,
most common sense here by far.
Rex, terrible. Hold on, Cole.
I'm not saying Brady isn't great. I said Brady is the most accomplished player ever. Of course,
you wanted to say best.
Hold on, real quick. You flip flop on what matters most.
No.
No. Here's how I'm going to prove it. If we were to do a side by side of Tom Brady's best year and Aaron Rodgers' best year, Tom Brady is better in every single category. You realize that, right? Like you realize in his best year, he's thrown more touchdowns.
Probably last year.
More yards. Like his quarterback rating is higher. His QBR is higher. Like
I don't know if his quarterback rating is going to be higher.
Okay. All right.
Rodgers is the most efficient quarterback ever. His touchdown interception
one thing
ratio
Rodgers does better than Tom Brady.
Not believable. Take care of the football. He does that a lot better.
Look it up.
I'm just having
Go ahead. Touchdown interception.
You know what football players. Tom Brady's better at taking care of? The one on top of the Lombardi Trophy, dude. That he takes good care of that football.
We're ruining our debate.
That we're going.
No, there's so much more.
We can't go into this. I'm just really quickly. I'm just looking. Hold on. Rex, can you pull up? Can one of you guys pull up Aaron Rodgers' career numbers?
I got it, bro. He has thrown 449 touchdowns and 93 interceptions. Do you know how absurd that is?
Okay, listen.
That's almost not believable.
That's good. That's really good. It's not good.
It's not really good.
Right here.
That's incredible.
I have him, Dylan. I have Aaron Rodgers' stats.
You have his year by year?
Yeah, from 2005 to 2021.
Okay, so I'm looking at 2007 Tom Brady, 50 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. His Rodgers ever thrown in a season more than 50 touchdowns?
Rodgers is 48-5, his best year.
How many yards in his best year?
I
know Brady historically throws some more yards.
His best year was 2018. He threw for 4,400. Or no. His best year was 2011. He threw for 4,643 yards in 2011.
Tom Brady, the same year he threw 50 touchdowns, threw 4,806. In 2011, he threw 5,235.
What about last year?
Last year, he threw 5,316.
So his top 3 are better than Aaron Rodgers' top 1. It's just interesting.
No. What I told Cole is if we pull up Aaron Rodgers' best year and Tom Brady's best year, Tom Brady is better at every single category. And he is. Except if Rodgers threw 5 picks, Tom Brady threw 8. I'll give that to you. By the way, the man has
Rodgers had a year with 2 picks.
He has
2018, he threw 2 picks.
He has 6 Super Bowls.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
7 Super Bowls.
7, sorry. That's a good ending.
That's a good preview of what's about to happen, but it's going to go so much deeper than that.
I'm just saying, again, to read the argument, Cole is saying his stance is in their prime. Aaron Rodgers, he would rather have Aaron Rodgers than Tom Brady on his football team.
I mean, that's fair. If what you want is to throw the least amount of interceptions, then congrats.
If both teams are the same around them, they're in the same environment. In a vacuum, I think Aaron Rodgers is the better football player than Tom Brady at their best.
Okay.
Okay.
And right now, I think it's Rodgers by a lot too. Maybe not by a lot, but yeah, he's definitely better than the Brady right now.
The Brady who threw for 5,300 yards last year and 43 touchdowns.
He had the back-to-back MVP.
I want to know what Aaron Rodgers is doing at the age of 44 and 45. Also, Brady settled this. He went head-to-head. He beat him in the NFC Championship.
Oh my gosh, your head-to-head battles are stupid. Allen outplayed Mahomes in their game last year and
lost.
Who won?
I mean, it's not like
This
Mahomes.
isn't one-on-one basketball.
It's not like Mahomes played terrible. I mean, that game, it was 2 great performances. I mean, you're just, all right. Well, that's it for this episode of Unscripted. like we said, the show can really go off the rails. So we didn't even want to go there. But we'll be back next week. I would say this is for sure what we're talking about, but we want to keep it kind of open and see what happens next week in the sport.
No, Rodgers Brady debate's not for
No.
months.
Right. Probably a little football, a little basketball.
Next week, let's run through the league, give our conference power rankings.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And I think we really will save. I'm with Rex. I think the Monday, the week of week 3, the Green Bay Tampa Bay game, we'll hash it all out. Maybe even bring in some guests. I think it'd be sweet if we could bring in some people that have
I'll have my dad on.
Okay. And so we'll talk about it. But then I think that's the game we get to watch, and we get to see whoever wins is the better quarterback. No questions asked. All right. Thank you, everyone. Tuning in. Any last words, Rex or Cole?
No, I don't have any last words this time.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. Take care.
Bye, everybody.